Right, that should be it. We should be live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, shall we say. I'm not very good at live streaming, but we'll see how it goes. So thank you for tuning in to I think this is my fourth live stream. It's been a long time since the last one. I feel like it's something I'd want to do more. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's one of those things. I got used to making videos rather than being live. You can edit all the bad bits out of your videos. You can't do that when you're live. So let me know if you can hear me all right, if I'm too loud, too quiet. It all looks good on the meters. And the idea is just to have a little chat, talk about a bit of web scraping, maybe a bit of YouTube or whatever we feel like. Yeah. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed my videos. I've tried to keep it reasonably consistent. And trying to do it's hard because I don't want to do the same things over and over again, but I want to make sure that I can get enough content out for people to watch and enjoy. I kind of get stuck at thinking that everything has to be like really, really detailed. Not detailed, that's not the right word. Like, kind of super in-depth or more complicated than the last one, but I don't think it needs to be. And I think I kind of proved that with my weekly web scraping projects. They're quite fun to make. If I could show you the whole process, I would, but it would be a really, really long and probably quite boring video. I have a really bad tendency of when I'm trying to figure something out, I kind of just go really quiet and stare at the screen, which is why live coding is really hard. I tried live coding last time and it was an absolute disaster. Codfather, thank you very much, mate. I thank you, man. I really appreciate that. It's really nice to hear. And Professor Hoffman, thank you, and Enrico, sorry. Super appreciate it. I've noticed that my channel's been growing a bit recently. I've just gone over 5k subs, which is pretty cool. I never thought that would happen. I kind of just started it to really keep myself accountable when I was trying to learn more things myself, and I just started enjoying it and started making more and more videos. So that's how we ended up here. I think I have like 90 odd videos now on my channel. The vast majority are web scraping related. Somehow I managed that, and there's more to come. I've got a whole host of ideas. Maybe I'll share them with you a bit later, but I've got like a whole board of I think about 20, 30 at least, and those are the ones that I've written down. Hello Gia, hello Matt. Data analysis, visualization, yeah, of course. It really goes part and parcel with it. It's a similar sort of skill set, but I mean there's a bit more obviously data analysis. You need to know what you're actually looking at and trying to get out. I find that I use web scraping. I tend to use mostly on the e-commerce side of things. Hello, Serti. Thank you for joining, mate. Thank you. And Sebastian. And I'm going to butcher your name. I'm really sorry. Masek. I can't pronounce your name. I'm really sorry, man. But hello, mate. Cloud computing with scraping. Yeah. I'll come to that in just a minute. I forgot what I was saying. But definitely I'll start answering some questions in a minute. I was just talking a bit about web scraping on the business side of things and like data analysis. That's what it's really good for, man, getting data out. And the main thing that I find is that once you've learned those skills of how to manipulate HTML, CSS, websites specifically, JSON, all those skills that we learn by making web scraping projects, even if they're just for ourselves, then it opens you up to so much stuff. Like I've got a video that I'm working on now. I've been writing the script for, and she's basically saying how all the reasons why I think that web scraping is like the best beginner projects that you can make, or even like learning as you go project. I think they're the best ones. I think, in my opinion, anyway. a good beginner project, it's just got to keep your interest, and it's got to be something that you can actually use or want to use, or maybe you can see it in your head. Because like, if you're, I always pick on this sort of example as well. If you're a project and you've decided that you're going to make tic-tac-toe or a notes app, I mean, yeah, all the core concepts there, but I mean, who cares, man? Who cares? If you want a notes app or something, or a to-do list, just go and use one online. They're always going to be better, but it's not, I know it's not about that, but you could build yourself something more personalized with web scraping. Like, you can make yourself something that you could actually use, and I think that's the main point. Yeah. Oh, hey Matt, Moves Mountains. Nice to see you here, mate. You left a GitHub link for code. Cool. No, I really appreciate that, mate. Yeah, I wanted to do I thought it would be fun to do some code reviews for user submitted code, like watchers, viewers code. So if you're interested in that, I had a post on my, put a community post up the other day if you want to put it on there. Or if you go to my channel, you can find my email address and email it to me there if you want me to have a look at your code. And the idea would be, I mean, it'll be anonymous, so don't worry. We won't name or shame you. Or if your code's better than mine, I won't call you out on it, which it could be. But yeah, if you're interested in that. But I thought it might be a fun little thing to do. Cool. Talking about Scrapy. Yeah. I was well chuffed with how well my initial Scrapy video did. That all came from when I wanted to learn it myself. And I was just like, there's no actual, I mean, the documents are really, really well put together in there. But if you're still new at the whole thing, it's really hard to understand. You're like, what do I just do? So that's why I put that together, and it's really, really kicked off. I need to make this text bigger. Hang on, I can't read the. There we go. It's hard for me to read the thing. What have I missed? Matt, it's fun to use for like little side projects. Yeah, it's hard to get good data. It is, and if you're trying to learn or trying to do some data science stuff, the best data you can get is actually other people's data. But that's harder because unless you know specifically about the subject, you don't really know how to look at it and interpret it. So if you get a whole data set on, I don't know, population or geography or something like that, and you don't really know about it, or you're not really that interested, it's going to be quite hard to actually put it all together in your head. At least that's how I find anyway. So most of my stuff is like products, e-commerce related. That's what I know about, which is why I kind of go to those sorts of examples all the time. Race analysis for World Cup mountain bike races. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. That could be a cool project, definitely. What sort of mountain biking is it? I know a little bit about it. I'd like to claim that I know more, but I really don't. It's something that I'd love to do, but I've got so many things I'm trying to do at the same time. It's really hard. Someone mentioned cloud computing and scraping earlier. So I use DigitalOcean just because it's there and I like it. But you could use anything like that. Downhill. Downhill's pretty cool. I like is it called more? Forget. Hang on. It's not cross country. I'll get there. I don't actually have a mountain bike anymore at the moment though. I tried to ride my old one when I was last summer when I had to stay with my parents for a little bit, but it just didn't go very well, and I was really, really unfit, which did not help at all. Cloud. So I tend to use DigitalOcean, but there are loads of other ones like Linode's really good. I've used that before. I just use DigitalOcean because it's there. Now you can do all of this stuff. You can run all your code on like a Raspberry Pi as well, which is a good idea, and I do that. I've got one, but I've got the first gen one, and it's really, really slow, which is like makes it so much harder to do anything. I'm probably going to buy a Pi 4 though, just to have my own Linux server here. But the reason why I pay for a DigitalOcean one is just because it's all maintained and all the uptime is just great there. And I tend to use SSH and just upload my code that I want to run into there, and I just put it on a cron job, and then every now and again I just have scripts that go and get the data back for me. Most of it's personal projects for that though, although I have probably about 5 or 6 scripts that do work related stuff for me for the jobs I'm doing at the moment. Scrapy can seem very intimidating at first. Yeah, it really can. I've been there. But once you get that kind of click moment, you're just away, and it's just so simple. It makes so much sense. It's such a great framework, actually. I love it. I don't tend to use it as much as I should, really. I've just got really into the habit of writing it all myself. Whereas when you use Scrapy, you just get all of the features that you could ever want. Someone has made already, even if you have to use, even if they even have like third party or something. So yeah. Can I show you how to format data scraped into CSV into a more readable form? Not sure what you mean. What's more readable than a CSV, Ivan? So I always tend to export to CSV because I feel like it's the most readable, because it opens in anything, which is why I go for that. If you want some, talking about Scrapy again, if you want some tips to help, one thing that helped me a lot was really using the shell and using that to figure out where all of the elements were and copying that over. The hardest thing, one of the things that I found the hardest to pick up was the pagination, which was trying to actually get it to go to the next page and crawl. And then once you've got one spider working how you like it, try to make another one that does a similar thing but maybe somewhere else. It's quite hard. You just have to keep at it and keep making spiders, and it'll kind of come to you, definitely. Try to make a project where I scrape all job postings for retail work. Never seem to be able to grab it. It's hard. Yeah. No, indeed. I did a video on that, and it was mostly successful. Although I actually messed the code up on that in that video, which was not ideal. I missed something out, and it just kept looping over to the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Job scraping, yeah, it's difficult. I mean, Indeed's not too hard though. For me, when it comes to websites like that one, and probably my best tip for web scraping is to make sure you check the website out fully first before you start trying to take a specific approach to it. Like, I think I've said quite a few times that Selenium isn't a web scraping tool. It's a testing and automation tool. You just can use it for web scraping, but I never do. Almost never. There's a few occasions where I've used it at all, and maybe only one professionally, because I don't do testing. Testing is not my thing. If you saw any of the code that I run, you'd understand why. So it's all about making sure you look at the website and pick the right approach. Like the first thing you should always do when you're looking at a website, like, right, I want to get this data from here. Make sure you view the source first. Now, a lot of my videos, I go straight to inspect element, but that's generally because I know what I'm looking at. If you're not sure, make sure you go to view source first, because that's going to be the most accurate representation of what your requests or whatever program you're using is going to download. That's the most accurate representation, okay? So go and check that out first. And if it's just a load of script data, start searching for specific and unique bits of information. So copy something off the page, because there's a chance that it will be somewhere in the script already loaded to the page. And I did a video on Chomp.js, which is one way of doing it. You can do it in other ways if you want to, but make sure you go and check that out first, because sometimes you'll find that in the source code there'll be a really, really long line, and it'll have everything in it in JSON data that you want. So you don't spend all that time trying to render the page. Basically, rendering the page out is like the last resort thing that you should really do. There should always be the better solution before that. The best solution, and I'll move on after this and answer some of your questions. I am reading them. Thank you very much. I'll come to those all in a second. The best solution for me, go to the network tab of the Inspect Element tool on whatever browser you're using and refresh the page and see what you can find, because the easiest way and the best way to get the data out is just to basically mimic those requests. So basically hit the API endpoint or reverse engineer the API, some people call it. And there's most modern websites do it that way. And that's just the best way of doing it, because you can like find how the browser is getting that information and you can just go there yourself and get it. So you can skip the whole page, all the JavaScript rubbish, skip it all, just get that data directly. So use like, if you think you found it, so it'll say in there, what's the word I'm looking for? The response. That'll take me a little bit of time. So look for in the response, and you'll see down through the list, and generally look at the XHR page or whatever. Have a look for JSON and see what the responses are, and then copy it as curl or something like that, and use Postman, or I use Insomnia, which is basically the same thing. It's just open source version, and bang that in, and then see if you can replicate it. Because if you can in there, chances are you can do it in your code. The only downside is that some sites will rely on your cookie, which you can use temporarily. Anyway, do that first. Always do that first. That's my top tip. Always go there first, or go to the view source. If it's plain HTML and everything you want in the HTML, just pass the HTML. It's dead quick. Right, let me go back up and get some more questions. Scraping large volumes of data from Amazon. Yeah, you're going to need proxies, 100%. You're going to need paid ones as well, because the general ones will never work. Free ones will never work. Data center ones won't work either. Depends on what your large volumes are. I don't know specifically about Amazon. I don't tend to do an awful lot of that other than personal projects, which I don't mind if it's not that quick. But and that's the same as with I just saw that cloud scraping IPs, not bad, but yeah, they are. So you need to use proxies. I've done a video on how to use proxies. I'm gonna do one on paid proxies as well soon, so people can kind of get the idea. But it's basically the same thing. You just have to buy them an auth, but you don't want data center proxies really, because they're generally blocked more often as well, because they know them and they've seen them, or people have abused them already and blocked them. So it's a trade-off, because it's quite expensive. Is it worthwhile to interact with Heroku for a dev? Yeah. I mean, so depending on where you are in your journey, if you're at the point where if you want to make apps, so if you want to make like web apps with Flask or Django or whatever, then working with Heroku will kind of just come part and parcel, because in my opinion it's the easiest and the best one to use. I've got a few apps that I run on Heroku for free, just the free tier, because it doesn't need much thingy. So yeah, definitely worth it. But I think you'll get there. You'll definitely get there. So don't rush ahead. Get to the point where you're happy with an app that you've made, and then go ahead. So build it, make sure it works and does what you want, and then look at deploying it. The deploying it's right at the end. It's not that difficult. There's a really good video actually on YouTube of how to use Heroku. Let me see if I can find it. It's not one of mine, obviously. If I can find it, I'll link it. I'll just search for it now. It was the one that I used a long time ago when I was trying to do it after I'd forgotten. Is there a way to improve the performance of a Selenium scraper? Not really. It's basically loading up your browser every time, so it can only go as quickly as that. You could run it multiple times, I suppose. If you had one that did a specific thing, you could run multiple instances of it. I actually did that a long time ago. Not ideal, but it kind of worked. Got the job done, sort of. But it's not really quick. That's the problem with Selenium. It's not quick. It's for testing websites. It's for trying all the links and seeing if they're broken, or making sure things load, or trying to break it, I suppose. Hello, Amin. Sorry I missed you. Nice to see you here. Familiar name. Let's give a drink quick. Just try and find this Heroku video. It's not coming up. Do you think you can make an arbitrage betting scraper and make money? Go real. I don't know. I don't necessarily believe. You probably could, but I think the margins would be extremely fine. I know some people probably do. I think the best way to make money with scraping is the data itself. But then if you know places where you can find things to buy for more and sell them, buy things for lower and sell them for higher, then you could be onto it. It's more of a tool to get something done quickly for you, rather than like you couldn't make I think, well, you probably could, but it'd be really, really small margins. But for example, you could probably pull shop data off of, I don't know, Amazon and bung it into eBay, and then see if that is what the prices are, and then compare the two. You could absolutely do that. You could do that manually, and if you wanted to do that, I would try doing it manually first and seeing if you actually think you can make any money. I know people that buy stuff locally and sell it on eBay for a profit. That's one way of doing it, I suppose. No tech involved. Shabazz, thank you for the amazing. Yeah, thank you for the comment, man. I really, really appreciate that. How do you deal with elements shifting positions within the HTML? And that class returns a list of one of the gets moved. I'm not sure what you mean by gets moved, Hunter. I'll have a think. If I can think of something, I'll come back to that. What if you need to scrape a website that renders through JavaScript? Daniel Garcia. Use request HTML and do r.html.render. Check out. Most of my videos have that in somewhere, but I've got quite a few at the top of my list that are about JavaScript scraping. Have that. That will work. Ken, sometimes persistent logs are good too in networking. Yeah, definitely. Scraping Google Maps. Oh yeah, that's talking about. Oh, I'm well behind. Sorry, guys. Data center I never use. That's why by using a VPN isn't fun. Absolutely, yeah. I do have a VPN. I use it sometimes, but you will find that using a VPN is. Yeah, you can't access most of the sites. Even if you're just using your VPN for whatever reason, and you go to certain sites, you get the are you a bot detection, just because that IP has been abused already. I'll see what I can do, Nathan. Did you email that to me? I can't remember. Apologies if you did and I haven't answered. I've got quite a lot on. I might be able to help you with that. I'll help you out with that. If you want to send me your code, I can have a look if you like. Do I have a Discord for this channel? No, I don't have a Discord for this channel. I'm thinking about it. I just worry that I won't be able to manage it properly. And I don't want it to be... If I'm going to do it, I want it to be a place where people can come and hang out and ask questions and learn Python and scraping together. I don't want it to turn into something that it's not. And I'm aware there are a lot of Python discords out there already, which are really, really big. So I think maybe if this community grows to a bit more of a bigger size, and I can actually basically pay people to look after it, then I will do, yeah. But at the moment, probably not. Enrico, I tried once to reverse engineer API that returned a pJSON response. I didn't know about it. What is pJSON? I don't think I've heard of I'm not sure what that is. So I probably would have had taken some time to figure that out as well. I did run multiple instances with Selenium. Yeah, it's basically running loads of versions of Chrome all at the same time. We know how that goes. It eats up a lot of RAM and processor. Hi Spiker, hello, welcome. I can't read your text, I'm afraid, but smiley face, so I'm going to say hello, welcome. Certi, do you mind what you're asking? What do I do for work? You're aspiring to be a data engineer and scientist. That's cool. I love that job. If I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I would definitely be looking down data engineer type roles. Definitely. At the moment, I look after the back end system for an e-commerce company, so I know Shopify inside and out. We have 300 plus Shopify stores, and I look after the back end system. So I use Python pretty much all the time to monitor things, run things for me, keep things going, make things easier, make it so I can just click go and sit back and drink coffee and wait for something to happen, pretty much. JMP, what do you think about sports score prediction? Python script scrapes data from teams, calculates predict score based on the... Yeah, that would be cool. That's a cool project. I like things like that. I really do. The only thing, the thing that gets in the way for me is that you need to have a good understanding of that sport, and you also need to be able to write or use and understand an algorithm so you can actually get some kind of meaningful data back. Because otherwise, if you base it on rubbish, you're going to get rubbish out. But that's a really cool idea, definitely. I'm sure lots of people have made loads of money doing stuff like that as well. But that's a cool idea. I like that one. KG, what are your top 3 favorite tools in your current technology stack for web scraping? I guess I'm not sure how granular you want me to go. When I'm web scraping, the things that I use the most, I use requests HTML all the time, and because CSS selectors asyncs all in one, that's my main go-to for that. I don't know what favorite tools. Yeah, that's probably it really. I use Linux all the time as well, apart from my main computer here, which I use WSL on. Cool. +1 for the Discord channel. All right. Okay. If I get enough people, then and if I can get some volunteers to help manage it, then maybe. I'm just worried that it'll be small, which is fine. I'm happy with that. But B, get to the point where it's neglected, because I just don't have time to look after it myself at the moment. I'm obviously I've got my full-time job. I make my videos, and I've got other projects on the go as well, which, as long as none of my employers are watching, which I doubt they are, which basically means freelance work. Hunter, I guess I'm talking about if you find a class that returns a list of elements and the data you extract is index 0 or 1, but the index position changes. Oh, I see. So right, okay. Now I think I understand. So what you want to do is try to find something about the actual element that is constant, the element that you're after that is constant, and use that to select it. So instead of indexing is good, but when things change, it goes wrong. So try to have a look at the actual element. See if you can find something in there that you can actually get. Won't request HTML require a WebDriver? Yeah, it uses Chrome. It uses Puppeteer, Chrome driver. But I don't use it for render. I don't use the r.html render that often. If I don't have to, I just use it plain, because you can do. And I've got another async video coming out. Actually, I recorded it. I recorded most of it yesterday, but I wasn't happy with it. So it was gonna come out today, but it wasn't. After I reviewed it, I didn't explain things well enough, so I'm gonna have to do it again. But the thing is, with request HTML, you can async not only the requests, but you can async the render, which means you can speed the whole rendering process up, but you can also async the parsing of the HTML. So that's why I like it the most. Taking a computational scientific modeling class right now, Matt. Wow. That sounds pretty intense, man. Learning about modes. Cool. No, I think I'd love to do something like that. Do you know, if I had all the time in the world, I would definitely be going back to education of some description somewhere, somehow, and picking up classes like that, like what Matt just said, because I reckon they'd be so interesting, so much fun, as long as they were good courses, obviously. But I just don't have the time for any of that, really. But that sounds really cool. Ferry, hello, welcome. How you doing, mate? Hunter, I hope that makes sense. I've tried to explain it the best I can. Hopefully it helps, but try and find something that's specific about the element with the data in that you can get to. Any tips on how to become more efficient with web scraping? Speed up the process. Become more efficient. To become more efficient, definitely write more efficient code, obviously. Try to use the best tool for the job, basically. Don't try to avoid rendering any pages, because that'll slow you right down unless you really, really have to. Make sure that where you can write good functions, you do. And also async will help you speeding up your requests loads. I've got videos coming out on that, which I just talked about. We should easily be able to get to the point where we get blocked by the website really, really fast with async, which is a good thing and a bad thing. If you're dead serious about writing really good, efficient web scrapers, you need to learn Scrapy, though. Definitely. And I did explain at the beginning of the video why I don't use that so much, but if that's your goal and that's what you really want to do, you want to write really good web scrapers, then you need to use Scrapy, because it's just got everything, like I said. And I know there are probably few and far between, but there are paid jobs out there for Scrapy. I've seen them. So yeah. Caracol 86, great session. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it, mate. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's just me talking. Hopefully it's useful or interesting or entertaining or whatever. Yeah. DSR, hi John, I was wondering whether you can make a tutorial about web scraping the page where the element pops up while hovering the mouse. Ooh. Yes, that depends. That depends on a lot of things. It depends on how the element's being loaded, and where the data is coming from. Because hopefully you wouldn't need to rely on that hover. So there's a few ways. I guess you can use. I don't know. It would be. It would. Yes is the answer. I would like to do something like that. I will have a look into more things like that, but they're quite niche. So you get a smaller audience, basically. But no, yeah. No, but yeah, but no, but yeah. ZXWR. How can we scrape website that has HTML source like CNN World? Please check the website and tell us. It will all be loaded with JavaScript, without doubt. The best way to do it is to, like I said before, check the network tools in the inspect element, see what's going on. If that really isn't going to work for you, can't figure that out, request HTML render, r.html.render will be your friend. Or if you wanted to use Splash, which is a basically the same sort of thing, but it's on like a service. I've got a video on Splash actually. Splash is pretty cool. It lets you do LUA scripting as well, which I will get into. I've got so many things that I need to get into. I just haven't. So many that I haven't done yet. So many videos that I need to make. Matt, it's all fun but using MATLAB. Oh, I've never used MATLAB. I only heard about it from various places, and Well, I'm sure it's an experience for you. I'm sure it's an experience for you. Beta, if I was to scrape data from, let's say, 100 web pages which had to render some JavaScript, wouldn't it take forever on Selenium? Yeah, it would do. If you absolutely have to render the JavaScript, we need to do the async on request HTML, async a render. That will be your best bet. I'll have a video on that real soon. It will speed it up a little bit. Other than that, 100 web pages. I mean, if it takes like 5 seconds for each one, that's only 500 seconds. It's not the end of the world. It's when we're talking like whole days worth. I feel like good data structure and algorithms knowledge is key. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, getting it all laid out neatly as well will help. Can I find socks for proxies to be super good? Yes, I agree. Teach the public to read the docs. If I tell everyone how to read the docs, then I'll have no videos left. Seems like the message didn't get through, Nathan. Okay, I didn't see anything. Sorry. Is there any method to scrape Amazon without Selenium? Yeah, I use... I found that recently not rendering the page on Amazon works fine. So use request HTML, but don't do the render part. Hello, Fabian. Awesome to have these live streams on this topic. No worries, man. This is the 4th one I've done, and hopefully this will be the best one. Maybe not. We'll see. It's just me talking, so we'll see how it goes. Great session, very interactive. Yes, thank you. What's the point of a live stream if I don't talk to people? No one wants to watch. No one wants to sit here and watch me fail at coding stuff. That's boring. Well, not fail, but you know what I mean. Probably fail. How are we getting on? How long have we been going for? 45 minutes. Cool. Do I see anything? Nope. Message where? Where did you send it to me? Fabian, looking to start freelancing. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. Any advice on a specific topic? Yeah. So the most success I've had, the things that people have come to me and asked me to do web scraping wise, jobs wise, has almost all been e-commerce product analysis, or they want to get their competitors' product data. They want to know what they're selling, at what price, when they're doing sales, how they're describing their products. So that would be the key place to start with. I would say learn how to, unfortunately this one's quite easy, learn how to get all the products off a Shopify store. Shopify is really, really popular. Loads of people use it, including people that have got no idea about tech and stuff like that. So if you can do that, that's great. That's a great thing. WooCommerce is another one. I've got videos for all this, by the way, so you can check it out. Nathan, I'm sending it through here. I don't in the chat, or I'm not seeing anything, mate. Sorry, unless I'm missing it. So yeah, that would be my tip if you wanted to start freelancing web scraping. Although I would take it as you need to learn a lot of things. So I can't see anything in the chat, mate. Is it a URL? It might be being blocked by YouTube. Sometimes it does say message removed though, but it's not saying anything. No, I can't see anything. Yeah. Oh, what was I saying? Yes, freelancing. I would say have web scraping as part of your arsenal. So have it as that you can do. So you want people to come to you because they want their coding or their tech problems solved. So you want them to say, oh, I want to know what all my competitors are doing. Here are their websites. You go, great, fine, I'll do it for you. And then what you want to do is you want to get to the point where not only can you get the data once, but you can do it repetitively, and you can give them some kind of interface. Because if you can give them an interface with a login, then they're effectively repeat customers. So you can charge them a retaining fee, or like a maintenance fee if you like. So you can say, oh, this is what it's cost for me to build it for you, and you can use it as much as you like. Here's the login, here's your website which you're hosting, here's your login. You can, all of this stuff you can do, and this is obviously more advanced, right? I don't get as many of these, but this is where you want to get to, and you say, okay, here you go, and it will cost X amount per month for maintenance, and that's where you want to get to. So first, learn how to get all the data off these sites, and I would focus on e-commerce because that's the most popular one, because like I said, and then work out how to turn that into an app that you can actually market. Now obviously that's a big gap of things there, and a lot to learn, but that's where you want to get to. And when you get to that point, not only will you be able to web scrape probably anything, but you'll also be able to build apps. So you'll be at the point where you'll be able to make people things where they've got two separate systems with an API, and you can connect them together. That's my advice anyway. Do you use Docker often? Not that often, but yeah, I do use it. If you're looking into Docker and you're on Windows, use Docker Desktop. It makes it so much easier. But if you're on Linux, you can just use it on the command line, which is nice too. Just gonna keep trying. Yeah, sorry man, I don't know why I can't see anything coming through. You can email it to me if you want to, man. I'll have a look. I'll try to anyway. Yep. Is anybody working on anything fun and interesting at the moment? Like personal projects or I don't know, work projects? Anyone not a developer that uses Python or coding in their job? I do that. I'm not a developer. I think it's quite interesting when you try and describe to people what you do, and you're like, so I write code, and they're like, okay, cool, so you're a programmer. It's like, well, not really. Not really. Sort of, I suppose. Depends how you define it. How to scrape LinkedIn? Not easily. It's well protected these days. Creating a CRM app, learning Django is tough. Yeah, that's a cool project though. That's a cool project. Django, I don't actually know a lot of. I picked Flask actually when it came to learning apps the first time round. I'm not sure whether I picked the right one or not, but I spent more time with Flask. I made a mouse mover so you cannot get kicked off game service. Yeah, I've seen lots of those. I like the ones. I like the ones that you see on Reddit sometimes, where somebody's connected their mouse to a fan and it just goes backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. But you shouldn't AFK in games, man. You should definitely be playing if you're committed. There's absolutely no way that a long time ago, back in the day, I sat in the base of Alterac Valley hitting spacebar jumps so I wouldn't get AFK'd. What actually convinced you to use DigitalOcean? There's a few people that I rate their opinion of recommended it to me, essentially. I've used Linode as well, and I like Linode as well. I just, at that moment in time, I was using DigitalOcean, and it stuck. And now all my stuff's on there, so I don't want to move it. What am I working on? Lots of things. Lots. Too many things. Too many things is the answer to that. Too many things. I've got my videos wise on this channel. I've got loads of those going. I have several web scrapers that run on my server that just are collecting the data that I want for various reasons. I do scraping projects for clients, which I won't go into, obviously, because they're clients. And I'm actually writing more Shopify stuff, API Shopify stuff with Python now, to get the things done that I need to do on so many stores. How to get scraping projects. I've recently learned Python. I would, if you're looking for, do you mean like beginner projects to learn on? I would say always just pick a website of stuff that you're interested in and get that data. Go to like whatever shop you buy stuff off, or whatever things, or if you don't buy off, you don't buy off and you like the look of, or pick a hobby, pick whatever you're interested in. So if you're like, we were talking about mountain bikes earlier, if you're interested in mountain bikes, go to whatever mountain bike websites you're after. If it's a news site, get the latest posts, scrape them and email them to you. If it's a shop, download all the products, set it up so you can check to see which ones are new, or you can save. A cool project if you're looking for like an e-commerce style shop web scraper is to save all the products and the prices, and try to save them all to, if you can, to a database, and then compare them as you rescrape them. And if any of them go down, email them to yourself. That's a cool project. Django is great. A lot of apps. Maybe yeah. That's why. What I understand is that Flask gives you more freedom, and more choice, but you have to do it yourself. Whereas with Django, you get less choice and freedom, but you get loads of stuff already made, which works. Again, if you're learning, if you want to learn how to make web apps with Python, probably for a jobs wise, for like learning how to, if you want to actually get a job doing it, I would say Django. Where you look for answers when you're stuck? Google. Basically. So I think that's a good question. That's a good question, actually. I like that. I've got a good answer for that. So you will get to a point where you know what you're trying to do can be done. You're just not quite sure how to do it. So then you can be really specific with what you Google, and Stack Overflow is probably the best place anyway, because most people, anyone that's any problem that's ever happened ever in coding is on Stack Overflow. You just need to find the right question. So let's try and find a good example. So if you've got, I don't know, let's take my last video, for example. Let's say if you had, you're scraping some data and you've got it to CSV, but you're like, I've made my CSV file, but every time I run this, it overwrites it. So there must be a way to append to a file. So you go to Google and you go, how to append to CSV in Python. And there you go, pop straight up, and you go, instead of read or write, you put A in, and you go, okay, that makes sense, done, next thing. That's kind of how I find out my problems. Request works well with Amazon UK, but not Amazon US. Oh, really? That's interesting. I'll have a look at that later. Obviously, being UK, that's the one I get defaulted for. Emmanuel, I love your video. Keep it up. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate that. Ujwal, can I do more videos on automation? Yeah, sure. I automate loads of stuff. What sort of automation, as in like what? You got any examples? I mean, but all right, yeah. I want to work on real world projects for clients and get some money. How can I get those? That's the hardest part. That is the absolute hardest part. Because no one knows who you are, and they don't know why they should trust you to do something that they want done. I totally sympathise with that. It took me a long time to get paid projects. It really did. I guess you just kind of have to keep going and keep trying. The sites like Upwork and whatnot, they're really hard because everyone just dives in on all the projects straight away, and it's really difficult to get any. Which is why I think what I was saying earlier, you have to be really sort of diverse with what you can do. So if you can only web scrape and you're looking for jobs, you're only going to be able to find web scraping jobs. But if you can do lots more, you can cast your net wider out. And you can just, the best way to do it is just to try and keep applying to get your first one. And then once you can get that gives you some reviews, and then you can carry on. I've had a lot of my work has come off platforms like that, because I've got people that are like, oh, so and so said you can do this, can you do this for me? And I go, okay, cool, what do you need? And then sometimes you have to, like, you know, do more work for less money the first time round, and then you get more, but they never do it for free, like, because if you do something for someone for free, they're going to expect that the next time. I don't know, it's probably bad advice, or kind of like, you know, a bit scattered advice, but hopefully it helps some way. It's hard, basically. The answer is it's hard because there's lots of people. Anywhere where there's a relative low skill entry, and you get lots of people that can do it, especially from developing countries as well, because they can earn more money from doing it, which is fair enough. I would do exactly the same thing. Trying to use Scrapy for Amazon, but I keep hitting the capture. Try go into your Scrapy settings and look for obey robots.txt and turn it to false. See if that helps. If that doesn't help, Google for Scrapy, how to change your Scrapy user agent, and try changing that. Give that a go. You can't really solve the captures. You just need to kind of not hit them. I mean, you can solve captures. There are capture solving services out there, but it's a pain in the ass. Right. Your advice is quite... Thanks. Oh, I hope it helps you, mate. I hope it helps you, honestly. I really do. Right, so now that I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer, but I'm going to ask you guys some questions selfishly. What, assuming that you've seen some or few of my videos, what sort of style of video do you like the most? Because I want to keep making videos, and I want to keep making videos that people want to watch. So which one? Let me know. Either if you've just seen one and you liked it, let me know what that was, or let me know what you think. Or, yeah, anything you want to see, basically. Use stocks for proxies. Scrape. Yeah. You need proxies to do it. Absolutely. I bet they probably cost quite a lot of money. That's the only problem, where people that when they're learning, they don't want to drop that kind of money on it for no reason. But if you've got actual, if you're working with your data that you're getting from your 60k websites, then it covers it absolutely. Concurrent scrapers, hitting multiple URLs within the same domain. Yep, cool. Those captures are really annoying. Writing async scrapers, yeah, that's coming. Yep, definitely. It's a pain to manage, but I get, yeah. I mean, managing all of that must be a skill in itself. Obviously worth it for you though, man. That's really cool. Bite-sized video tutorials, watch shorter videos. Fair enough. Cloud computing scraping, yeah. I've seen a lot of people have requested or have mentioned to me, like, actually scraping stuff from in the cloud. That's cool. Going into more detail, Eva Wes. Yeah, cool. I do, yeah. Probably, to be fair, I probably gloss over a lot of stuff because I've covered it loads and loads. But I don't. Obviously, not everybody's going to have watched everything, so that makes sense. That's cool. Matt, I'd be interested in the data analysis size if you do any of that. Generally, the format's perfect. Okay, that's cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not. I do some data analysis, but I'm not a massive data analysis guy. But I know a bit about it, so I can do some more of those. That's cool. I like that idea. Cloud Scraper is actually very good. Okay, cool. I'll have a look at that. That's interesting. I feel like you can make courses out of your videos. Yeah, I probably could. I keep meaning to make a course, but I don't know. It's hard because I'm not sure really how I feel about. I think, okay, so courses. Here's how I feel about online courses. I feel like as someone who would take one, so not someone writing one, but someone paying for one. I feel like most people know, or probably know, that the information they're going to get is going to be available for free online. So what you're paying for is someone to conveniently put it all together for you, right? And it's how much do you value that over going and finding it yourself? And also, you got to take a chance that on whoever's done the course is good at explaining things and good at teaching things, right? Because otherwise it's going to be rubbish and you're just not going to get anywhere. Some of the smartest people that I know and the people that are the best at their jobs cannot explain it for shit. They just can't do it. I understand it because I've got more of an understanding. I kind of get it, but they're so bad at explaining things. So you've got to weigh it up. So I think if I did one, I would want to. It would be. I don't know if it'd be worth it because online courses are bad because they don't teach you how to find resources. Yeah, I kind of no, I kind of agree with you. Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant to do one really, because I don't want to regurgitate everything I put on my YouTube channel for free and then charge people $50 for it, because that just seems pointless. It's just like, it's there, you can have it, it's for free. I'm not sure how I feel about them is the answer. I think if I did one, it would be more of, like I just said, it would be me putting all of the things that I've already explained in the knowledge together, just in a better order and all together, and it would be really low cost. But if it's really low cost, it's got to be, I mean, it's going to take me a long time to do it. So I don't know. Yeah, no. It's, no, Daniel, it's definitely, so I've thought about it a lot. At the moment, my plan is to carry on putting everything on YouTube. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's my plan. That's my plan. I'm not planning on stopping. I quite enjoy it, actually. Weird kind of way. Even though if it does take a while. Cool. Well, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. I think that's been just about an hour or so. Well, one last point, go on then. They don't teach you how to humanly look at and memorize code. Yeah. No, I totally agree. Live Overflow, I love Live Overflows. Live Overflows videos. I've watched loads of them. He's really good. And he's someone, actually, there's someone that goes against what I said earlier. He's someone who knows so much and is really good at explaining it, which is why he's really popular and why he's successful. How about a guitar tuner program? Yeah, that'd be cool. That would involve me picking up and playing those, though, as opposed to just looking at them. All right, guys, thank you very much, everybody, for sticking by and joining in all the conversations. It's been so much better than I could have hoped for. I've really enjoyed it. I'll definitely do more about these. I'll definitely do more live streams, because this has been great fun. You guys you've made it definitely worth the while. Thank you for all your great all your great suggestions, and enjoy the rest of your day. Nathan, email me, man. Email me. Email me. It's on my YouTube page. Just go to my main YouTube page and email me. I'll answer, I promise. Cool. Thank you very much, guys. I'm stopping now. I really appreciate everyone coming by. This has been really, really, really good. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you, and I will see you again, hopefully, really, really soon. Bye-bye.